Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about exciting things that are happening right here in our community, and today will be no different. One of the things that people do as we move into a new year is begin assessing their health issues. And one of the best places that they can begin is assessing habits that perhaps may not be as beneficial to them. One of those, of course, is smoking. And we recently talked about the perils of second and third-hand smoke. We wanted to start this new year off on the right foot by talking about some additional thoughts and ideas and some local community resources that can help people who have this specific interest as we start a new year. Kelli Bush is the Tobacco Control Coordinator for the Public Health Area 2 of the Alabama Department of Health. Welcome back to our broadcast.
Thank you, Kenny. It's great to be here.
It's good to have you back. You know, last time you just filled our heads with all this knowledge and information. We thought this would be a great way to kick off a new year and think about ways that people are kind of looking at tune-ups in their lives. And so we wanted to talk a little bit today about that whole notion of how one of the resolutions people make is, I want to lose weight. Another one is that I want to stop smoking. And this is the one that we really want to focus on today, how people can actually connect to that whole information. So tell us a little bit about what's happening at the local level with regards to that.
Well, this is just a fantastic time to be smoke-free in Huntsville. There's so many things that are going on, not just locally, but in the United States. I know the U.S. Housing and Urban Development has just passed a ruling to provide smoke-free environments for residents. So there's so much going on as we gain knowledge and information. And our little Huntsville area has some exciting things going on.
Yeah.
I can tell you that Huntsville Hospital has a smoking cessation class called, Freedom from Smoking, and it's through their Center for Lung Health. You can reach that at 256-265-7071. It is an 8-week program. And then I will begin a free community resource program called Call It Quits for just free resources that are available to people and some support. We will do that the first Saturday of each month at 10 a.m. And it will be at Crestwood Hospital.
And you know, one of the things that, and again, I'm a mental health counselor by profession. Lots of people know that, but for those that don't, I do come to this conversation with a little bit of knowledge about working with people with addictions, addictive personalities, and that type of thing. And there's no denying that cigarette smoking is a habit that is an addictive habit. It's one that people develop, and it's not about somebody just simply having the willpower to stop. That nicotine is a chemical that gets in people's systems, that people become addicted to, and this becomes a big problem for them as a consequence of that. So one of the things that is always talked about in smoking cessation programs is that this is not just a matter of turning off a person's will and moving in a different direction and breaking that bad habit. This is really work that has to be invested in this process as a result of a commitment that somebody makes. Isn't that right?
It is, and unfortunately, it's a habit that I have struggled with for many years now. So I have a lot to bring to the table when I do support and smoking cessation education. I have personal experiences I can share. I'm also a registered nurse, so I have some medical background that I can bring in as far as the addiction. It is one of the strongest addictions that anyone can have and face.
And yet we don't think of it that way sometimes.
No.
We think about some of the illegal substances, and you know, we could have another discussion about that another day, but certainly alcohol is legal, but it's a very powerful substance that people get addicted to. But then people will talk about crack cocaine, they'll talk about meth, they'll talk about marijuana, and they'll talk about the whole scope of other drugs that are out there that are illegal, including many of the legal prescription medications that people become addicted to. And they'll say, oh, it's just a cigarette.
They do, and everybody knows cigarette smoking's bad, but they don't stop and look at how bad it is. For several years now, the Surgeon General has stated that smoking is just as addictive as heroin and cocaine. And people don't think of it that way. It's available almost on every corner in our city. You know, if you need a cigarette, you run out and get it. So it's very accepted, and it's a very, very horrible, harmful substance that we put on our bodies.
And we used to hear years ago that, one of the most vulnerable times to pick up a cigarette habit is when you're a young child or a teenager. Is this still the case today?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. I want to get in there and get that addiction going before the frontal lobe develops and says, hey, this is bad for you. So now we battle cigarettes, but vaping, oh, what a new thing.
Oh, yeah.
Not lots of flavors and pretty cartridges and lots of talk and competitions with vaping clouds, and it's just another way to draw young people in and create an addiction.
So people may not know about vaping that are
Right.
listening to us right now. Tell us a little more about that.
Electronic nicotine delivery systems, ENDS, called many, many things. Electronic cigarettes, the vaporizers. They have their own vocabulary, which removes them sort of from the smoking venues, but it's still an addiction. It still delivers that nicotine and other harmful chemicals that are also found in cigarettes.
Yeah, which kind of comes dangerously close to glamorizing the process for many people,
Yes.
especially young children that are vulnerable, that are very visual, that they're interested in these kinds of neat designs and things that
Oh,
don't look
yes.
quite as dangerous because of the packaging and the marketing. And that's kind of deadly in a way because it actually sends a distorted message about a truth.
Pretty colors, pretty packaging, and something that I have found that is even probably more influential to the young people is it's a new system, a new thing. There's a lot of talk about it, a lot of excitement. So when parents are at home and they're talking with their friends and they're talking with each other, best places to buy this product and trying new samples, they don't realize it sometimes, but they're glorifying it to the children. And the children absorb this and they share that information, and it's just, again, another trap.
And yet we know that cigarette smoking, just like alcohol use, is a gateway drug. It presents an opportunity for kids to experiment with other substances, and not only that, the illegal substances, but not only that, we now know that with prescription pills, far exceeding illegal drugs in terms of those things that are being abused in our society today, that young people who are interested naturally in things around them and that are naturally curious about the world that they live in. And as you said, the developing brain is still very vulnerable to making bad choices. The landscape out there today is quite treacherous for young people in terms of making sound decisions about these things, especially when they surround themselves by the messages and they're bombarded by the messages, and then perhaps they're surrounded by people, their friends, their peer group, that's actually communicating the message that this is okay, I'm young, I'm going to live forever. It's that invincibility thing that goes on with young people as well. Very, very treacherous time of life for them.
It is, and with the ENDS and the vaporizing, there's not a lot of regulation yet. The FDA has received the ability to regulate, and all that is in transition. But for now, there's access to these things to minors where they may not be able to go into a store and buy a pack of cigarettes, but there are ways that they can get access to the vaporizers and the chemicals, the e-vape juice.
Yeah.
And that's a little scary.
Yeah, it certainly is. And as we talk about this, of course, we're moving into a brand new year where people are, again, challenged to make lots of decisions about things that perhaps are not the most productive things in their lives. This is one that people focus on quite a bit. And even now, as we talk about this particular topic, the perils, and we talked about this in our last conversation, the perils of secondhand smoke and thirdhand smoke are still as prevalent as ever before. And it's something that a lot of people dismiss because they aren't directly inhaling the cigarette smoke. But you said something the last time about the danger of inhaling secondhand smoke in relationship to the potential for damage to one's body. And I don't know if you remember what you said, but it was something, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but it was basically dealing with the idea that the amount of smoke that one can take in from secondhand experiences can be
Yes.
potentially just as damaging as smoking a cigarette itself.
Yes, and some people believe it's even more damaging because a lot of what you receive as a secondhand smoker, you're receiving directly from the burning end of the cigarette.
It's
which
unfiltered.
It is not filtered,
Yeah.
exactly. Unfortunately, sometimes when we have an addiction, we justify what we do, and therefore we overlook the fact that we put other people around us in danger. So, secondhand smoke is very dangerous,
Yeah.
especially to children and pets. I think we talked a little bit about that as well.
We did. And again, that's part of the process that people don't think about. Once again, they think, well, my months-old baby or my young child is not smoking, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm the smoker.
Right.
The pets that we love, we're not thinking, and we're holding them, we're taking them everywhere we go. We put them in a car while we're smoking.
Oh,
We're
yes.
exposing them to some potentially dangerous things that we all need to be aware of.
Those little systems, they're smaller than ours, and just that exposure is so very toxic and stressing to their systems.
Yeah, that is, I think, the information that was shared the last time, and certainly the information that you're sharing today is so very valuable and important. We're winding down on time, but I wanted to once again let people know that maybe just joining us, that there is help right here in the local community. For those that may be watching other places, I would strongly suggest that you reach out to your local resource agencies, whether through the United Way, the public health departments in your community, to be able to get more information about what's happening on the ground. But tell us once again locally how people can get connected to some resources to get some help with smoking.
Well, call me.
Yes.
I'm your free connection service. I support the Alabama Quit Now program, which provides free nicotine patches to residents of Alabama. I do all kinds of little informational, educational snippets. I really promote the basics of quitting smoking when I'm out and about and talking to the community. Call me anytime, and please come to our free resource class. It'll be the first Saturday of each month again, 10 a.m. at Crestwood Medical Center. And you can also verify through the Smoke Free Huntsville website, not website, I apologize, Facebook page, Smoke Free Huntsville. We will have times and changes posted there as well.
Awesome. And of course, there are lots of opportunities throughout the year to get this information. This is not just about really making a resolution. This is really about making a lifestyle change.
It is, and any time is a good time to make a resolution to quit smoking.
Yeah.
Anytime, and I am there to help you get started with that. Baby steps, what to do, setting your date, preparing for that date, anything that I can to help.
All right, so how can people get in touch with you?
My office number is 256-533-8662. If you can't remember my name or my office number, you can call the Madison County Health Department and ask for the tobacco lady.
Easy way to remember you.
You got it.
She's Kelli Bush, Tobacco Control Coordinator for Public Health Area 2. Thank you for coming on and sharing such great and important information with us as we start and look forward to a great year.
Well, thank you, Kenny.
All right. I want to thank you for being a part of our conversation as well. And in the midst of all of the revelry of a brand new year, we hope that you've gleaned something from this show and this conversation that can perhaps help you or somebody that you love. We strongly encourage that you share this information with somebody because, again, as I always say, I'm very proud to say, Huntsville is one of the most resourceful communities on the planet. If you want help with a problem or a conflict, a challenge, you can find the answer right here. We also invite you to like our Facebook page, which is Impact with Kenny Anderson, where you can find this video of the show that you just watched, as well as behind-the-scenes images once the cameras stop rolling. For Impact, I hope to see you again soon. I'm Kenny Anderson. Have a great day.